day?
Every day we had to split them up because they were arguing about who mum loves the most.
Who's more Australian?
Yeah, it's who has the bluest eyes, the biggest muscles.
Do me a favor, keep up. The last thing we need in this op is have to save your ass.
Weapons away.
Hello.
Hi.
Hola.
How are you? So nice to meet you. There is a moment in the movie Rescate Impossible when one of the characters, which is the Sergeant Kinney, he's about to lose it. Because he's trying to be rescued, but he doesn't know where his team is, and he could die. Talking about that in terms of acting, when you are doing an action scene and things start getting a little bit difficult and you don't want to ruin the take and you have to focus, what do you do to save that take and to stay in the moment?
I think it's just a natural thing. As an actor, you are the moment until someone says, cut. There's plenty of moments where in films like this where you can forget a line or you miss a line or you can get injured. I remember I hit myself in the head with a gun, and my own gun, so it was my fault, and it started bleeding, but you carry on. Or there's moments when you miss the magazine, you're trying to reload and you don't get it, or my gun was jamming. Sometimes I'm shooting, my gun jams, and it's not supposed to. But in real life, in that situation, that happens, and you have to use everything. So when my gun jammed in the middle of a take, that's bad because I need to shoot in the take. But that happens in real life. So my character gets frustrated and has to fix it in the take and then starts shooting again. And you continue and use everything that happens in a take to your advantage. So people watching would go, oh, his gun jammed. Oh, he's fixed it. Cool. You know, it's authentic. You want to be as real as possible. You can't just stop, because imagine if we're in a two-shot and I stop and he's done something amazing in the background and you just like, we can't use that because Ricky gave up. You know,
what happened was when Ricky actually, like, his gun jammed or he hit himself in the head, I'm in the back with my magazine, I'm trying to reload, and my magazine's halfway down the mountain. That's what happens. But no, he's right. You know, between action and cut, that world exists, and it's just happening. And it's real for all intents and purposes. You just kind of go with it. You know, you don't stop and make the adjustments until cut is called.
You both have experienced the world through different characters that you have portrayed. And I want to mention Jack for you and Shadow Moon for you. To what extent have your previous characters helped you become more aware and question certain topics? To what extent your previous characters follow you in the next characters that you portrayed?
Me personally, I leave them behind. They're two different men. For as wonderful as Jack was to play, he's in the past now. He lives forever in 6 seasons of This Is Us. I don't know that I carry him with me. It would be a jumbled mess in my head if I was stacking up all the characters that I played and they were impacting the next character. But I do think there is some similarity that I personally can never escape in what I bring to a character that maybe just makes them unique to me. If anybody else was playing it, it would just be a whole different character.
It's a time in your life, and that's where it belongs, you know. For me, Shadow Moon, during that moment, Ricky Whittle was also in a certain moment in his life. And so I would react differently to different situations in those years, or you know, in my 20s or in my teenage years, you know, you react differently. So, you know, when people come up to me and they say, oh, we love Shadow, I can appreciate Shadow and I can appreciate Lincoln or any characters that I've played in the past, and I enjoy them, and I'm happy that they touched someone in a certain way. But as Milo said, that, you know, the great thing about our job is every new character is a new person to create and to build afresh. You don't want to keep building the same character, because that's going to get very stale for you as an actor to keep doing the same thing, or as Milo says, have this jumbled mess where you're building this thing which is just not, it's a mix of everything and is essentially nothing. So it's more exciting to just say, I love this character, go be free, what's next? And you start working on that and you build this character from scratch.
My last question for you is about working with two of the Hemsworth brothers, because they're brothers, they know each other, and maybe for them it was sometimes difficult to have a dynamic as actors and sharing the screen. So you being there, how did you help them to focus on the action and just...
Every day we had to split them up because they were arguing about who mum loves the most. You know, how dad would take one fishing and not the other one.
Who's more Australian?
Who has the bluest eyes, the biggest muscles? They were always arguing.
Most handsome?
We constantly had to split them up. Guys, we're here to work.
They came to set with such a level of professionalism and heart and support of everyone, you know? I mean, I think that was what was great about those guys. You know, they're in their homeland, we're doing a movie. They weren't playing brothers. And I think when you watch them, you're like, God, they look alike, but they don't care. I almost felt like there was more brotherhood, Luke and Ricky.
And same with Sugar and Kinney.
Sugar and Kinney, like as the movie progressed, but.
Yeah, there's
like,
very different dynamics, but as people themselves, they were so focused and so welcoming. Like literally, they were literally like welcoming you into their home.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't like, it's us and you, or you know, they were just really great guys, and they worked their butts off in this movie. They did a great job, and I look forward to working with them again, or just seeing them again. You know, I love just texting and calling and speaking to them. So they became good surf buddies. So once I learn to surf, once Milo teaches me how to surf, I'm gonna join the other three. Right now, I just watch them three surf. I'll stand on the beach away from the sharks and just be like, "You're doing good, guys."
You gotta move, man.